well, good morning, Carbondale. How y'all doing today? Thank you so much for tuning into WDBX 91.1. Talk of the Town is what you're listening to. I am your host, Eva Fisher, and I am sitting here today with Janice Pavelonis. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes, so excited to have you on.
Thanks.
So Janice is the superintendent of Carbondale Elementary School District
95.
Yeah, you got it. Fantastic. So we are going to let all you listeners today know about everything going on at the elementary schools here and hear about developments to the schools over the years and programming that you have coming up and just what you want our community to know about life for these students within the walls of these schools.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We are so excited to be here.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to talk about our district anytime. So this is a good time. The beginning of the year, lots going on.
Yes, starting out strong.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the first and foremost thing you want people to know about this upcoming school year?
Yeah, so first and foremost, what we want people to know is school is starting. Our kids are so excited. So we have pre-K and sometimes even 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, involved in pre-K all the way through 8th graders. So about 1,600 kids in Carbondale that come to our schools, our 4 schools. So there's a lot of buzz going on in town right now because school is starting. So we have a half day on Friday, and then our kids start the 15th, and then from there on, Monday on, we are full days, and kids are coming back to school, and so it is the cutest thing at this point because everybody is excited, and kids are coming, parents are coming in, bringing things, and there's a lot of buzz around what we're doing right now.
That's so awesome. What a thrilling time.
It's exciting.
I always loved those first few weeks going back to school. I was that kid. I loved going to school. I couldn't wait to get back.
That's good. Those are the easy ones, right? The kids that are super excited to be there.
Absolutely.
It's funny. We have all 4 schools, and so every school has a bit of a different culture because the kids are different ages.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So at Parish, we have all the littles, all the way up to the middle school, where sometimes they're just too cool and just excited to be there, but it's more social, right? So it's really fun to meander in and out of all of our schools at this point, and being the superintendent and having all 4 schools, it's a lot to try to get around to all of them and everything. But so right now I think it's really just about making sure that parents are informing us, making sure that they're registered, making sure that all of their information in Infinite Campus is up to date if they have kids in our district, making sure that they're reaching out if they need something, or if their child has any sort of special need or semi-special need. Let us know. There's a lot of communication that is needed, especially with elementary students at this time. And so I think for our families of our students, we want them to know to reach out. Don't think that something small is small. We want to know. And then to the rest of our community, I think what we want them to know starting this year is if you have time to volunteer, if you have special skills and talents, let us know, because we want to involve our community as much as possible in the programming we have, in the learning for our kids in Carbondale.
That's awesome. I love that. I do feel like, Carbondale is so community oriented, and I love that our schools really encourage that participation. Like it's not all the way from the pre-K to the university. Like it's not students and then community. It's nope, we're all in this together. We can all learn from each other no matter what age. So what a cool thing.
We have so many partnerships, especially, you mentioned the university. SIU is such a fabulous partner for us. One of our favorite things this time of year, the athletic teams will greet our kids. They'll come when school, like the very first day or the first week or so. And so the buses might pull up, or the parents are pulling up, and and the football team is there high-fiving kids, welcoming them back to school.
Awesome.
So we have really great partnerships with the athletic teams and the academic schools in tons of different ways, and probably a lot that, maybe aren't even as flashy. Sometimes just observations and helping partner in the academic portion of what our staff are doing or our leaders are learning. So, being in Carbondale is so exciting from my perspective as a superintendent, but because there's so many resources and everyone is really focused on education, and there is a sense here in Carbondale of how important that is across our whole community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Janice, can you give a rundown for our listeners of the schools that you cover?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So Parish School covers pre-K through first graders.
Great.
And then Thomas School covers second and third graders. And then Lewis School is fourth and fifth graders. And then Carbondale Middle School is sixth through eighth graders.
Awesome.
Yeah, so one of the cool things about having attendance centers is what that's called in the educational world, where all the same grade goes to the same exact schools. One of the good things, there's negative sides to that, because sometimes our families, if they have kids in multiple schools, the drop-off is tricky because they're racing to each school to drop them off. But some of the benefits is really more of an equitable education where kids all across town, so they're all going to the same school. And one of the big advantages is that teachers are all in the same building. So the children receive an education that's a little bit more consistent than what it is sometimes whenever schools are spread across town, because teachers are collaborating, they're working together, they're sharing resources. So it's really exciting, and really one of the things that helps us maintain our teachers, retain our teachers, and recruit new ones. Teachers in this area, in Southern Illinois, in this region, many of the school districts around are very small. And so teachers may be just one of the only one that teaches third grade or fourth grade, or maybe there's just two. In our district, there's anywhere from 8 or sometimes 9 down to 7. So there's typically a whole bunch of teachers who teach the same thing. And from a leadership perspective, when you're working together alongside people like that, you typically grow faster and better together.
Yeah, that is so cool. That's I went to the Catholic school in Heron growing up. So very small, just one teacher per
so
grade.
You know what I'm talking about.
I graduated from the biggest class they had, which was 30 kids.
Wow.
So this is a whole new world to me. So it's exciting to get to learn about this operation and what it provides.
Right. It's a lot, and it's definitely different for people who maybe have been teaching somewhere else, or even leading as a leader somewhere else, and coming to our district. It takes a second, typically. But we love it. We love the partnerships here in Carbondale, and we love the attendance centers, and we love being able to provide training and all of that sort of robust support for staff.
Cool.
Because we know that just trickles right down to our students.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So cool. So you said you've had, some new developments that you want to share. What are some of those? Yeah,
in our district, in District 95, we've been through quite the transformation in the last 8-9 years. And so folks that have been in Carbondale and been in the education scene are probably aware of that, but some of the listeners may not. We are so proud of where we are right now as a district, and that transformation, as it is with any topic, anything, is difficult. It's hard. It's a lot of hard work, and we're proud of the fact that we have a really positive culture in our schools. Our staff are happy. Our kids are happy. We are. I do want to mention we have a few years in, a district-wide PTO right now, and it's fair. I keep saying it's new, but that PTO partners with us so deeply that we've started this family transformation, and they are such a deep partner in that right now.
Cool.
We're just trying to build, and it's growing. Our facilities have been updated in these last few years. The interiors look totally different than they did 8-9 years ago.
Cool.
And that's continuing. We have differences in just the feel in the buildings, right? The way that the people function and the happiness that is there and the love for kids. I mean, our staff in 95 have always had diverse children. We've had partnerships in the community. But these days in our schools, there's a lot of fun, which really is embedded in the staff and the people and our kids, which we see translates into more learning. And we're starting to see that. We're starting to see some shifts in our test scores, which is something we've been really pressing for a few years now. We've been training teachers. We've been promoting teachers that have long been serving Carbondale into principals and administrators, and so being able to promote from within, from many people having gone to school in Carbondale, lived in Carbondale their whole life. You know, those are the things that really make an effective and amazing school district and school, and so we are so proud, and that's really just the beginning. You know, we've got a lot of facility projects going on right now. We are working on a brand new playground at Thomas right now, which is super exciting. So they're trying to get that finished up here just after school starts.
Love that.
I know, right? So definitely a lot of different things happening. And so, you know, if the listeners haven't been engaged in what we're doing in 95 in the last few years, I encourage them to reach out to us, because it's really exciting and something that I want our, you know, the City of Carbondale to be very proud of. The work that we're doing in 95. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how people focused you are there. You can tell, like, it's the main focus, like, yes, new facilities and this and that, but at the heart of it, it is those hearts of those students coming through, the parents, the faculty, everyone involved, wanting to make sure, hey, we're not going to do our best if we're not having the best time, you know? So let's make it fun.
There is definitely a sense of love. We talk about love a lot, and we always have since I've been there in these last 7 or 8 years, I think. We talk about loving kids and loving families and loving each other and being rising up together and being together in this work, because, you know, our children they're little. These are little children. These are babies sometimes, right? And so it's really important, especially in an elementary school district, that we are openly talking about loving kids and loving families. And so that's really what we're about. So I'm glad that you know, comes through in our conversation.
It resonates for sure. That's awesome. So what's one of the first big highlights of the school year coming up?
So one of the things we've been working on, other than, like I said, some of the facility improvements, is last year, I guess specifically, our district received a huge grant, a $5 million grant for community schools implementation. And so, you know, we've talked a little bit already about the importance of our community and what we're doing, and we do see our work in 95 as an extension of the community in this area, in the City of Carbondale and even the region, right? And so this grant was sort of midway through some work we were already starting to do on the implementation of community schools. And so it came at the right time. We were lucky enough to receive it. And so it spans over 5 years. And what it allows us to do is serve our families a little differently and a little deeper than what we've been able to do in the past. So one of the most important things that's happening this year that does translate as well into support for students, which then means they're coming to school ready to learn and happier, hopefully, right, and achieving more, thriving, in fact. So what's happening is we're getting ready to open a family resource center at Carbondale Middle School, as well as Pear School. And so construction is underway right now. And so what that means is that families will be able to have access to resources resources a little differently than they do now,
Cool.
a little deeper. And so some of those things might be, right now, let's say we have a deep partnership with Shawnee Health. And so at Carbondale Middle School last school year, we had a mobile health clinic.
Great.
So that was sort of this huge bus with a doctor in there, and so students and families could make appointments.
Awesome.
Right, and so they could not have to wait for appointments in the typical way, right? So we were able to serve so many families. So now we will have a provider inside the Family Resource Center at Carbondale Middle School. So it's sort of like a mini doctor's office inside of our school.
Fantastic.
I know, right? So what that means is, people don't realize always that, even though we have a nurse, an actual licensed nurse in every school, we will also now have a health clinic where students can get tests that they need, they can get medication that they need, they can get everything just a little faster when it's outside of just a basic school nurse visit, right? So we can streamline appointments, and that's just the physical health. We've also got mental health partnerships, so
awesome.
Counseling and therapy, students, individual, even family. We've moved our Birth to 3 program, which is a robust program as well, which is really about supporting families of birth to 3 children. It will also be at the Carbondale Middle School Family Resource Center. So, we're building this up as we speak right now. So probably one of the most impactful things we're doing is definitely that.
That's incredible. Cool. Congrats on that grant. That is huge.
Thank you. It is. It's absolutely huge. And we're already looking at fundraising efforts for sustainability after those 5 years.
Fantastic. So, we're about halfway through our program. If you're just tuning in, I am chatting with Janice Pavelonis, Superintendent of Carbondale Elementary School District 95. So thanks so much for being here again. And we're chatting about this huge grant that y'all received and how you're implementing that with these health services for your not just students, but the families at large. That is so fantastic. All right, what next, Janice?
So I think important to our community would also be academics, right? We've talked so far a lot about the community and the people, and it takes people to do the work that we do, and people who love children and kids showing up to school ready to learn, right? So that is, I guess you could say, step 1 of our work, or the foundation of our work. But I think also in the community, what I want people to know about is our PTO. Mentioned it before, that our PTO is continually growing exponentially, and so every year they are adding more and more activities that they're doing, and they always need help. They need volunteers. They need people to reach out to them. So I would encourage the community to reach out on social media. Probably is a great place to start with the PTO. It's a great place to, if you might want to help but you don't know exactly what you can provide, that's a great place to start. Or reaching out to any of our school offices. So we definitely want to encourage people to reach out to us as we are constantly reaching out as well. But when we get down to academics, we have done a ton of work. One of the most, I think, promising things we've done these last few years is, it may sound a little wild, but we've really focused internally to retrain all of our teachers in the teaching of reading. We've really focused in on the science of reading, which really just, in education lingo, is about making sure that all of our teachers know the latest ways to be most effective teachers of reading. And so we have certified trainers in our district for something called LETTERS, which is training our teachers in the science of reading. And when we started that a few short years ago, I'm not sure that there was anyone in our state even doing that type of training. So it's definitely the most innovative training. And so what we're excited to be able to brag about that and to talk about that, because what that does, is really make sure that our youngest learners are understanding how to, when they listen to stories, how to think deeply about it, what those questions are whenever they're, learning about different elements in a story, really digging all the way down into being able to think, because kids have to be able to think about reading before they can learn how to read themselves. Yeah, so we're really focusing this upcoming school year on implementing reading comprehension in that way, in with our littlest learners, the thinking about reading and making sure that they're deeply strategically thinking about what they're hearing in stories. And the way in which characters are developed and events happen and things like that. And so then our older, let's say our intermediate students, really making sure that they then can take that deeper thinking into how they write and how they process their own ability to read and comprehend.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of a process, right? So we started, maybe 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, with a new reading curriculum materials. Then we focused on retraining the strategies of our teachers of reading. And so now we're at that special place where now we're focused on, let's implement with fidelity. Let's make sure, let's get in those classrooms and make sure that the teachers have everything that they need, that it's going well. How can we support them now after they went through all of this training? And then we've got another start. We just started with a lot of new teachers too. With we have about 250 total employees in our district, so a ton. So some of those are teachers, and so when we have new teachers, they're trained as well.
Awesome.
So we have a really robust training system for our teaching staff, and then also our principals and leaders. I take it very seriously that our leaders are constantly learning how to implement their own leadership in a high level way. And in our district being so large, we have about 16, 17 different school leaders, district leaders who are, out in the buildings and making everything happen. So it's a big job, and it is a lot of work. So we have to make sure that people are constantly trained. It's something that's really important to us.
That's fantastic. How exciting.
Thank you.
Gosh, this makes me want to do I want to go back to school?
See, that's okay.
I want to learn these cool new reading skills. I love it. How inspiring.
Good. I'm glad that is your take on it too, because that's the way that we want people to feel, and we want people to know that it's really special about our district and that it is working. We are constantly looking at test scores, which is one piece of the puzzle when it comes to our kids truly developing, but we're starting to see some improvements in reading, and
fantastic. Very cool. Very cool. I love that. All right, we've got about a little under 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I want to make sure we cover everything you want everyone to know about the schools and what's going on.
Yeah, a couple different things to even expand on the literacy work, the reading work. Just recently, we had a huge community meeting around our community schools grant. And so one of the things we ask of our partners, which would be like the City of Carbondale is one of our partners, is to adopt a statement of support or a proclamation in your organization to say, hey, we are going to partner with Carbondale District 95 in their efforts to improve literacy through our community partnership and shared work.
Cool.
Yeah, and so that just got announced 2 weeks ago, and so we're working right now with each individual partnership to say, okay, what does that look like in the work that you do? So, for example, we mentioned Shawnee Health earlier. SIH is another partner of ours. So in sort of the health world, that's something that most people can resonate with. So when you go to a doctor's office, us maybe partnering with them to say, okay, what materials are in those waiting rooms that could possibly have a deeper reading focus? So if they're play-based materials, what do those look like, and how can we partner with them to say, hey, here's a list of things that would probably help that early development of literacy, even in a few moments whenever someone is coming to the doctor. You typically might see that in a pediatrician office or something, or and so thinking about it more holistically. So even like city offices, how can we have informational materials or posters or something that might inspire a family member to read to their child that night, or ask their child some questions about the stories they may have heard or read themselves, or write, that kind of thing. So in this world where we are community centered, we want to feel like literacy is important across the city of Carbondale in all the ways that anybody who has a child or where children are, where we can work alongside those partners to make sure that we're, I guess you could say, maximizing our opportunity to make sure that literacy stays on the minds of everybody.
Very cool. That's awesome. I love that. And again, just connecting all those pieces.
It is a different way. Sometimes people sort of think that a school district is like they handle the learning of the children, and the community handles the community or whatever, and we look at it very differently, and we always have. It's just now we have this grant to be able to really get the word out and have a few more resources than we've had in the past to really put some things into action differently than we've done. So that's what makes it really exciting. It's always been what we believe. It's just a matter of making it happen, which sometimes takes funds and physical spaces. And I think earlier you talked a little bit about just Carbondale and how it's community focused as a city, right? I think one of the things that has just continued to blow me away is how there's not been one entity, organization, person that I have reached out to and said, hey, we need your help, we need your partnership. Absolutely. What do you need? Absolutely. It's very, very humbling to know that the work that we're doing is so supported in this area and even the surrounding area. We're now getting to the point, I had a health service from another town reach out. How can we help your community schools efforts? We do this and this. Where do we fit? We've had a lot of SIU alumni, people who do not live in Carbondale, who are reaching out now saying, hey, I live in Seattle. We do this. How can we help with your community schools partnership?
That is so fantastic.
I know. There's something about the connection to Carbondale that people, it's like they keep it in their heart as they move on with their lives and say, hey, this is home. And even if they were here just for school, it's still home to them. Or I love Carbondale. I was there, in whatever year, I graduated at whatever time. So there's something about the city of Carbondale that people really resonate with. And it is so helpful when we're reaching out to people. But honestly, not one person have I personally reached out to our organization saying, hey, let's work together. Every single person, absolutely. What do you need?
That's so beautiful. What a cool thing to hear and just know that that's how it rolls.
It's so exciting.
I love it. We just have a couple minutes left. I know you mentioned people reaching out to the PTO, and you mentioned doing that on social media. Is there a separate PTO social media, or is it just Carbondale Elementary? Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. A couple things. We try to share on our social media. So first off, we have, like I said, 4 schools. So each of our schools has their own social media.
Great.
So let's say mostly Facebook, Instagram. Every one of them have a Facebook page, so families can like those pages if they have kids in those schools. Or we also have a district page where we try to share all of those things and anything that's mostly district-wide. So it's a lot. So Carbondale Elementary School District PTO, I believe, is the name of the page. And
fantastic.
And so from there, they have a lot of members who sort of run that page, and they can kind of direct people from there to what they'd like to do or how they'd like to help. And then there's also a lot of there's a lot of information put out on that page where it may just be a QR code, scan here if you want to help with whatever.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and we also have mentoring programs and other things with other entities, like Hopewell Community Church is a huge supporter of ours, and they partner deeply with us, and so they are working on, I believe, a mentoring program getting started here.
Great.
So yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to help.
I love that. Yeah. Well, Janice, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time. I know that you are off to a running start.
Yes.
So appreciate it, and wish you the best of luck. And yeah, we'll keep sharing all these tidbits with our community.
Thank you so much. We sure appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening.